So again, I prepared a couple of examples on where Flow could be implemented, and this presentation is not very different from what Axel just presented, but I added, I hope it's the last problem that I'm facing here. Oh, maybe better if I connect this one. Now, the setup is done. Actually, I have too much time because Axel finished a bit earlier. So I had to fill it in with some, technical issues and so on. It was all prepared. So yeah, I would like to show you some other examples on where Flow can be used in your company. And yeah, I'll start with real examples, like very tangible things, something that you could probably think about and locate it somewhere in your company. Then I'll show you two, I call it exotic examples, where we really push Novacura Flow to the limits, and then time for a summary. So yeah, the last year I had a similar presentation during the last conference, and at that time I presented this slide showing that Novacura Flow could be used in very many process areas, and then I was quite structured in diving into these areas and showing you examples. This year, I'm a bit more lazy, so I'm going to just show you a couple of examples from random areas, but I hope they are interesting. And this time, I'm a bit more equipped for that presentation because starting from this year, I'm also leading another team. It's a business solutions team, and we are responsible for pre-sales. So we help our customers shape their solutions. When I mean solution, I mean how we build applications with them. And we help them optimize processes, and we help them create new requirements and use Flow to the maximum extent. So these examples come from real implementations, but they also come from proof of concept, successful proof of concepts that we deliver to the customers. So let's start. The first one is project tracking Kanban. So let's present the solution maybe. So this tool is mainly addressed for I should say, project officers. People who oversee all the projects in the portfolio. They could see each and every project on this report, and each and every project is represented here as one tile, if we could say that. And when you click on the tile, you see the details, you see who is assigned to that project, what competences are needed. So if you need to see more resources there, you simply add them. You first see the required job titles, job positions, job types, and then you attach more people, and you can also attach documentation to these projects. Now, these are not very complex projects. Actually, this company serves some professional services to their customers. So project for them is like a contract, little customer order. It all starts with a customer order. It's kind of repeatable. I mean, projects are different by nature, but the type of project is quite similar. They are not very big. It could be like 50 hours, 200 hours. It's not like, something that takes 2 years or something. And they required certain documentation attached to these projects. And this particular view and this particular solution has been developed to give the project office the overview so that they can control if the right people are assigned to the right projects, and also if we have all the necessary documentation, especially if we require some final documentation before we close the project, or if we currently have signed documents from the customers that allow us to start the project. The project office must see it in the system. And I have a couple of screenshots to show you. So yeah, first one is the one that you have seen before. You see the projects in the tiles, resources on the left bottom corner, and attached documents on the right side. When you click on one of the documents, you immediately see the preview. And of course, this is a very simple solution that you can easily understand. And I'm not trying to push you to implement exactly the same solution in your company, but you could imagine other aspects of your business where you have a list of tasks, initiatives, things that require resources and documentation, and this could be presented in a very similar way. I forgot to mention, but it's probably obvious, that you mainly track the project statuses, stages, by dragging and dropping them in the Kanban view. And we can also attach more and more documents, and yeah, we have a success after uploading the document. Next solution, we'll jump from one to another. This is, what is this? It's, processing invoices. So a very typical case that every company has, we have invoices that they come from suppliers and they land in some inboxes. We created a solution that has a live view of the mailbox. You need to connect it to certain mailboxes. It retrieves emails from the mailboxes. It allows you to select attachments, and it automatically converts it to the records in the ERP system, and it also gives you a preview of these documents, and it allows the attribution. And again, let's jump to the screenshots. So yeah, that's the dashboard. On the left side, you see the view of your mailbox. On the right side, obviously, you see the attachment or attachments connected to particular selected emails, and some other actions that you can execute. And yeah, this is just a confirmation that we have it in a normal mailbox. And then you could select over the emails you see. So this is live view of your mailbox. And then what else we do? Yeah, the application has an additional intelligence. So if the PDF document is like a printed document that has been scanned, there is an OCR module connected to that tries to retrieve some data from the scanned invoice, and it preliminarily proposes some attributes here. And once you approve it, it's stored and saved in the ERP system. In that example, it's IFS 10, but of course we can integrate it with other ERP systems. So yeah, typical invoice flow, we call it manual invoice because it's not fully automated process. It still requires some manual attribution, but we at least automate stupid, tedious steps. Talking about tedious steps, another example, quite similar, is where we had to, and this is a real case, very important for a customer. We had to retrieve serial numbers from shipment documentation because the customer orders very many components, but they need to track serial numbers per each and every component they order. They have full traceability. So we implemented the solution that retrieves serial numbers from, and here are two sources of information. One is additional shipment documentation that could be delivered as an Excel file. Another way to get this information is just details connected to the invoice. So it's printed on the invoice like attachment to the invoice. And the solution retrieves these details from these documents and connects it to the purchase order lines, because each line, I mean, you need to find a dedicated purchase order line that is dedicated to store particular or that is dedicated to order particular items, particular components, and then in connection to that, the solution would retrieve information from the document and attach serial numbers to this purchase order line. And with that, you eliminate a lot of manual work, because normally customer had to first enter all the serial numbers manually to the system, directly in the ERP system, and then the warehouse operator was able to report that the delivery that just came should be mapped onto these values. You could ask the question, if they deliver hundreds of pieces of some components, why don't you just say it's the serial number from 1012 to 1112? Well, it's not that easy. These numbers are not all the time in a sequence, one after another. So it really requires manual entering to the system. And now we automated it, and I have a little preview here. So these are the invoice details. It's in that form, and as you can see, it's not super easy to retrieve the serial number from it, and I don't want to even mention where it's here. This is another version where we retrieve it from Excel files, And then it's a source of information for Novacura Flow, so you could now recognize Novacura Flow client window. And yeah, so that's what we get. And obviously, this is not the end result. The end result resides in the ERP system. Again, screen from IFS, but it could be Infor, it could be any other business system you have in mind. Surveys engine. Who knows what the survey is? Obviously, everyone. So we created a survey engine in Novacura Flow. What's so special in it? Because you could say, I can create an engine. I just open Flow Studio and I add questions and I have drop-down selections, all the properties, and then I publish it as a separate application. Well, it's good for you because you're here, you're mainly developers, but not good for business people who want to execute a survey and configure it, and they don't have access to Flow Studio, and it's better that they don't touch it, right? So we created an application, kind of meta application, that allows business people to create surveys in a very analogical way as you create surveys in tools like Microsoft Office or Monkey Survey. So they build the survey, they select among various types of answers and properties and so on, and they collect the questions and to be asked, and then they decide on who should participate in the survey. But also, and this is the factual use case here, it's also connected to the field service operations and to the service and maintenance application, because these surveys are connected to mobile work orders for technicians who operate in the field. And when they finish their job, they receive additional surveys. They need to examine specific things. They need to inspect specific things, maybe to generate additional revenue for the company, maybe for safety reasons, no matter what. So the customer can not only create the surveys by business people, not by touching Flow Studio, but they can also attach it to particular types of mobile work orders so that they can dynamically change the information they want to collect when the technician is in the field, on site, at the customer side. And again, a couple of screenshots. So this is the screen that the user has when, the admin, the creator, who creates the survey. So this is the initial screen. This is the screen the user sees when creates a second or first question. And as you can see here, you have the question type. There is a checkbox selected, so they will probably check among several options. And once it's done, this is the execution. So this is the part that will be seen by the users who submit who complete the survey. So in this case, by technicians. I had to hide the real customer logo here, so that's why we have this beautifully crafted pink logo of the customer. But yeah, and in the two first steps, you see really simple survey. So these are the subsequent questions. And the last screen presents the summary screen, where the user, in this case, field technician, can review all the previously submitted answers and could even go back and correct something if something is wrong. So this is the summary screen, and then it submits it and it lands in dedicated objects in the ERP system. Another example, this will be simple to explain, and I have recorded animation here, quickly saying, imagine a company that maintains air conditioning equipment, and they have to visit several buildings and find specific rooms and find specific air conditioning devices and receive some parameters from these devices. And previously they were doing it by just retyping some parameters from the little displays, and now they can automatically connect to the devices and read parameters from the devices via Bluetooth Low Energy, so BLE standard. I have a little animation here. It shows real application behavior. You first select the device, so it's connected, and then you can see the application retrieved the value. The final value was 76, no matter what it is. Yeah, it's probably now we repeat the same animation. Yeah. What's important here, it's done quite seamlessly, and it's very fast. So it doesn't require like, the time I spent on connecting to the projector, because then it's much more efficient to just retype something from the device. It's really quick process. The animation repeats constantly, but yeah, it takes maybe 2 seconds to retrieve parameters via Bluetooth. And then you go to another room and check another equipment. Another example. This is interesting, I think. This is something totally new. Again, technicians operating in a field. This example is in German because we wanted to show that we are international company. So sorry for German, but yeah, that's on purpose. So the customer sends technicians, they do the maintenance job, but sometimes something is not included as a standard maintenance operation, and it has to be that the customer must be charged for that separately. So what they built integration with payment terminals. The Flow application pops up the payment application. In this example, it's a Square payment gateway, payment operator, and the application connects to the payment terminal, and then the customer could stick the credit card on it and perform the payment. And we have a little recording here. Sorry for the German words here. I don't even know how to read it. It's invoice or bill, or Rechnung is bill, but Vorschau, I don't know. So yeah, first the customer has to leave a signature, Untersicht. Oh, take a payment. It was in English, right? Maybe it recognized the customer is from England, and then we popped up the payment application, skip the one on process because it's a previous payment, and then yeah, it also sends the receipt to the person, and done. So yeah, what you have to remember is that we can even integrate with payment terminals and like seamlessly charge the customers whenever they are ready to pay us for something. Axel, I think we should equip you with such tools, and whenever you visit the customers, they want 10 more users, Flow Connect, you just enable it in Flow Hub and you charge them directly. That would be great for our revenue. No, it's a subscription, I forgot. So you need to visit them on a monthly basis. Okay, online payment with payment gateways. It could also be, it's a very short analogy. We can also connect for instance, from within the portal to the payment gateway that offers not mobile, but web-based application. So it pops up in the browser, you perform the payment, and you return to Flow portal. I had some animation, but I cut it out from here to not waste your time. You probably understand the business case. Another one from another area, but also to some extent connected. This is an example from the field service area. It's a planning portal for field services, additional layer on top of the ERP. I don't want to mention that, but it's on top of IFS. But to excuse ourselves, we have very many presentations oriented for Infor M3 customers today and tomorrow, so don't worry, you'll have your time here. Yeah, so you start with this. It's an overview of your work orders, and you see all of them connected to the map. You not only see the statuses, but also you can quickly and easily see where these particular work orders are located, I mean, geographically. Once you click on one, you see all the details. But then there is another dimension. You have resources, and you need to assign right resources to perform particular work orders that are located in very many locations. So this portal allows you to look at your data and plan, taking into consideration all this dimension. Location, competences, availability in time of particular resources. You can combine various views and planning components, and you can plan your entire your workforces and assign them to tasks, not only based on their availability and competences, but also based on their current location where they are in. Yeah, so that's another planning view. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly the same use case in your company. It could be something that is like analogical, but you could imagine when you see the capabilities, the visual capabilities and components we have. Field salesman. Again, yeah, we have it's a very hard word to pronounce, agricultural, yeah, I was successful. Agricultural customer who wanted to equip their salesmen with a mobile application where they can check all the historical transaction and price lists when they visit their customers on site. In their business model, I couldn't understand it for a long time, but in their business model, they first ship some goods. Again, it's an agricultural, Jesus. Why don't we have construction customers? So it's example from this industry, and so there are farms and so on, and they visit the farm and they talk to this manager of the farm about the delivery that they just shipped to them. And then they negotiate it. Yeah, it's like reverse order, but they negotiate. And they also try to get some more orders for the future deliveries. So that's why they negotiate. So in the portal, they see all the current open customer orders, the ones that they deliver, all the planned, all the historical. They can check historical transactions, check the price, and negotiate. What you see on the screen, several records have yellow, or let's start with green ones. Green ones shows that this is like a list price, no discount. The yellow ones are discounted, and the red ones are discounted to the maximal extent. Yeah. Sorry for that. I just can't avoid this, I think, when I click. Yeah. No. Oh, maybe better if I have it here. Yeah. So you immediately see the discounts. It's not only for a salesperson. It's also for the customer, because then the salesperson can defend the price and defend the discount, little discount, when he shows or she to the customer that, yeah, the application unfortunately selected this row as red, so that I cannot give you such a big discount and we need to reduce it slightly. And this whole package is created to help them negotiate the best price for both parties, I hope. That is not only connected to one row, one particular line here, but we take into consideration the whole lines, all the purchase orders. So sometimes you get a discount for one line, for one item, where you pay the full price for another item. So it's a kind of game that you play with the customer, and this is what they requested. But obviously, the application also gives the ability to show the customer the historical prices. And it also gives you this warning that, yeah, unfortunately, the price is too low. So it has to be approved by the sales managers located in the headquarters. No matter if there is a real headquarter manager or not, it sends a strong signal to the customer. So if they really want to sort the things out, quickly, they will probably skip the negotiation here and maybe negotiate in some other order lines and so on. So yeah, it's not only a tool to equip the salesperson and inform him, but it's also a tool that they can show to the end customers and somehow justify why they can't give bigger discounts. So if Axel or any of our salespeople come to you and when they start showing such applications, you'll be cheated, right? So please defend. Okay, I'm marketing. I shouldn't say that, right? But I'm also pre-sales, so now I'm representing pre-sales. Returnable packaging management, that's my favorite area, and this is why. And I'm not going to tell you that Flow was responsible for shipping some containers to the space station. But we all know that sustainability is a common theme for all of us. I mean, we need to help and take care of our planet, right? Because, yeah, this environmental aspect is very important nowadays. And returnable packaging, especially in the context of deliveries that we have nowadays, I mean, compared to 20 years ago. We all order things to our houses via e-commerce platforms and so on. So, yeah, we all receive a lot of packages, and not all of them, if not none of them, are returnable. So returnable packaging would be very important aspect of all the businesses in the future. This is what we anticipate, and that's why we put some emphasis on that area. And yeah, before I continue, I wanted to quickly narrow down the definition of the returnable packaging. We first start with packages, with packaging items that are most frequently used by manufacturers in the whole supply chain. So these are the so-called KLT containers that have kind of body and some insert and a cover. And these combinations might be very complex. And yeah, but this is what we mean by returnable packaging at this time. It could also be a rack that holds some solar panels, any other types. But let's imagine we talk about these. We developed, it's not like fully developed, but it's a good, like, not concept, it's a framework for handling the processes related to returnable packaging area. So it could help customers manage the returnable packaging on the supplier side, as you have on the left side, and also on the customer side. And they are all, often involve some third-party companies who are responsible for fixing the problems with these packaging items, or for cleaning them if they, constantly look between the customer and the supplier and so on, so they are dirty and so on. So you need third-party service centers involved in the process, and you sometimes deal with other sites and locations, and you ship these containers back and forth. So all these parties could be involved in the processes that are supported by our solution. And to make it even more complicated, we not only, support the overview, the process that happens between the customer and the manufacturer we support, but we also dive into inside the organization, and we support the flow of these packaging items across the manufacturing company, from the shipment, from the deliveries warehouse area to the production line, and then back to the shipment and you can choose if this is the customer or supplier. But and we obviously support it and we merge it with warehouse management applications. You can report the packages, you can report broken items, and so on, so on. This is important because if you have broken package and you don't have replacement, you cannot ship your finished goods that you just produced. And now imagine penalties that exist in the automotive industry, for instance. So if you really miss 10 containers, you're really in a bad situation. So you really, of course, they have buffers and some more of these packaging items in place, but yeah, it's important to manage it properly and always have enough packages for your shipments. And to quickly tell you something about it, I would like to focus in these two areas. So let's imagine we have this process between manufacturers. So this is like our customer, direct customer for Novacura, and the end customers. So they ship finished goods in some boxes, so it's fully packed. And then the customer must return, the customer must return empty boxes to them back so they can pack new produced items and send it back again to the customer. But to do that, in the business model that one of our customers have, our customer has to order these packaging items up front. They cannot count on their customers that they will somehow magically send it to them. No, they don't do that. This needs to be ordered. And imagine that you have very many combinations of these packaging items and you ship like 10,000 items per day. It's quite a complicated process. And we help them shape this in a new way where all this ordering process and then controlling of the empty boxes delivery would be supported by Novacura Flow and the solution we built. And what's important here is that, you really need to balance because these packaging items are rented from a customer. So you pay per each day of renting this packaging item. That's the business model they have. It's automotive, yes. For those who know the industry, they know that there are very many areas where they negotiate between them and suppliers. So yeah, our customer rents these packaging items from their customers they pay per each and every day, so they cannot order it too much upfront, because then they will pay too much for it and they will have too many of these. Moreover, they will pay penalties if they keep these packaging items for too long in their inventory. So we need to reduce this first cost, but also avoid penalties. But in the same time, we have to take care of the availability, because whenever they produce something and they want to ship it to the customer, they must have the right packaging items. Simply saying, we produced a solution that uses the module, the logic that is typically used for when you order components and parts. So MRP is embedded here. And this helps the customer convert the known customer orders and plan of shipments of particular finished goods onto the needs or onto the required packaging items that are needed to ship these goods to the customers. And this plans it upfront, taking into consideration one additional element, which is the lead time. The lead time in this context is the time between ordering particular item, packaging item, from the customer and the time when it arrives to our factory. So that's the lead time. And our solution takes it all together, the lead time, everything, the volumes, the planned shipments, and so on, and prepares a list of orders that then the customer must order from their customer. So they order the exact amount of packages at the right time. And to help them with that, let's maybe skip this slide, but to help them with that, we provide several reports that show them, when exactly they have to order something, what are the penalties that they might get if they keep it for too long, if they don't send it back to the customer, because they also can send additional amounts to the customer, like empty boxes. And we also show them warnings, like if some order for packaging items is already delayed, we will warn them in a specific dashboards. And we talk about millions of euros per month for penalties that the customer has paid over the last, it's the average value they pay for the last couple of months. So, because they are really big. So we take this responsibility here to help them optimize these penalties and maybe one day reduce it to zero. Time for exotic examples. And this is the ending of my presentation, but we are on time. I think I should end at 12:30, right? Great. First, very exotic example is application for police officers. It's not implemented yet, and I will not tell you where we offer it and for whom and so on. And it's not Sweden and Norway and not Finland, so don't worry, because I know or not Germany. But because I know you're from this country, so don't worry about it. But maybe if you have access to the server, well, maybe it's better. So the purpose is to equip police officers. It's like field service. They are everywhere, right? They are in their cars. They will be equipped with mobile devices where the flow will be pre-installed, and they will be able to perform their daily task, report accidents, and also charge the customers, if I could say that. Set the penalties for the drivers who maybe drive too fast, and the application should help them do the following thing. So they first select the type of offense that the driver did. The application calculates the number of demerit points that will be added to their account, because if you overreach the maximal number, the application will tell you that the driving license should be kept by the police officer. But obviously, if you still have some limits, the application will calculate the penalty. And the demo that we prepared connects with the SMS gateway and sends a direct link to the payment gateway. So the driver, the customer in that case, can click on that link and execute the payment in the using online gateway payment that we also integrated for that case. And once the payment is done, the police officer will immediately see a signal in their application that the payment has been done, and then they can issue the driving license and so on if there is any additional need for keeping the driving license. So that's the business case. I'm not forcing you to implement it in your company when you see someone doing something wrongly, but yeah, it's just exotic case. And the last one, I have 2 minutes, it's application for retailers. Imagine, just a regular shop in a shopping center where you buy sport shoes or sport equipment like shirts, t-shirts, and so on, balls. So we prepared applications not only for the cash desk, for the cashier, and also for a mobile cashier, so the salesperson who goes across the shop, store area, but also for the end customers, so they can use it independently to support omni-channel concept. And here is a quick demo of the cashier application. So you choose the cash register application, you scan. No surprise here, you will scan goods. It's not good for a grocery shop, of course, but for a sport goods reseller, I think it's good enough and efficient enough. You see, we use this auto-forward capability, and obviously you can scan also some with problems. So yeah, if the problem occurs, you can obviously enter the value manually. If I remember the application, we will proceed to payment now. You can quickly review the list, and if you scan something by mistake, you can remove it from a list, and then you proceed to payment. And then you see a summary, and you have the ability to scan the customer profile because we wanted to equip end customers with mobile applications. And for this particular customer, it's me, yes. I deserve a discount because I have 102 loyalty points calculated by the application, and I received additional socks. And then, it's integrated with the payment terminal and is also integrated with the mobile printer that prints the receipts. And that's all. And it added me 4 loyalty points for that purchase. It could also help you order the shipment of the goods if you don't want to carry the bags with you. If that's the case, there is an option here. And I will not show you that because we reached the time limit now, but it can also help you see the availability of the product. If it doesn't exist in the current shop location, you can reserve it in an alternative location in another shopping center and for additional 2 hours for this particular customers. And the store manager or salesperson could do that using our mobile application. And you can also track the customers. If they use their applications, you can track their behavior in the store, and you can send them something that we call it visit diary via email. And then the customer sees a summary of their last physical visit in the store, and they will see the goods that they examine with the application. So it reminds them about the unfinished purchasing process that could increase sales, right? It's all about increasing the value of the basket and the sales. So that's all, I think. Let's skip the reports. I'm a little bit out of time. Not the first time, right? So to sum it up, as we mention all the time, Novacura Flow is a versatile tool, and I would like to say we often compare our tools to Lego blocks, and with Lego blocks you can build whatever you want. It's just your imagination that limits you, and we believe we are a perfect analogy in the applications world. So what really limits you is your imagination, and that's a good invitation for you to build more and more applications. Thank you.